Hello, I'm Miss Deprez. Welcome back to our second video in the series about how to make pop-ups for pop-up books and cards. Last time we worked on the two main types of folds that we use in pop-up books. In case you couldn't remember, V-fold and parallel folds. We made these little example cards, a little V-fold, and you can see how it looks a little like the letter V, the shape of it, and our parallel fold made with parallel lines. These planes always going to be parallel to each other. Now, we did all this with one sheet of paper. Today I'm going to show you how to make a V-fold with two sheets of paper, so a base sheet, like the base page that you would have in a pop-up book, and then the V-fold that pops out of it. And let me see, like this. So if this were a pop-up book and it was laying down, I would open it. And you can see how it might be the background for something that was happening on the front here. It's another one that's has it instead of at the back. This one pops out of it more like the front. There's a couple important factors to consider when you're making V-fold pop-up. When we were cutting out of one piece, it didn't really matter how we made our cut, if it was perfectly straight. But when you're making it out of two sheets of paper, you have to be really careful about your angles. And I'll show you that when we move forward. So first, so we know what we have here. I have one sheet that's about a half sheet of 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Remember, this is like heavier cardstock-ish paper. You can use copy paper, but it's just going to be floppy. It might not work quite as well. Construction paper also works really well. I have a little bit of construction paper here. That's what I usually use in school if you want to use that. So I have a half sheet, whole sheet, scissors, glue, and I have my marker. First thing I'm going to do, fold my base page hamburger style. And you're going to go back and forth. So you can use a tool, like a pen cap or the edge of your scissors to really get that crease nice and flat. We go back and forth to make it nice and flexible. Like all of our creases and pop-ups to be very flexible. So here's our base page. Next, also hamburger style, we're folding. This is the part that's going to pop up. I'm going back and forth just like I did before to make that nice and flexible. Using my tool here if I need to help me. I often just use my fingernails. Okay. The next thing we have to do to prepare this piece to be glued onto this paper is that we need some tabs in order to glue it down. Now, if we look at my examples here, you can see there are these tabs here. This is what is gluing this to the surface so that it can pop up. Same thing over here. You can see my tabs. So I'm going to make a crease that goes about an inch, or half inch actually. Half inch, centimeter-ish down. Make a little line so you can see. So you can see I about half inch there. And now, just like I had with all my others, I'm going to fold back and forth so it can be kind of flexible. I'm going to be doing that again before I put glue on, so you don't have to work so hard at it quite yet. But once I'm here, I'm going to cut off the corners of this. Remember, it is still folded in half. Folded in half. I'm going to cut little triangles off of the corners. And that's just going to help it when you glue it down to, so the pieces don't run into each other. So you see these, made like a little house here. I'm just going to cut those two corners off. Now you see, remember the line is where my fold is. So when I open this up, now I have two houses. I'm going to fold each of those down, and this is where I want to make sure I do the back and forth, make sure the crease is really nice. Okay, this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm actually going to glue it down. When we do this, there's a couple important things to remember. I'm going to show you this on here. So, all right, we have our center line. This is your center fold right here. And you're going to be gluing down your pop-up, like this or like this. Either way, it's fine. Okay. But when you do that, you're doing it at an angle. Right? So your pop-up is going to go right along that line. So I made a line right here. And I will be gluing it down on there, on that line. Okay. What's important here? So this is an angle, right? And in order for this to pop up, you need some kind of angle here. It could be a very obtuse angle, could be very acute, but either way, there needs to be some kind of angle. If I make it go straight across, like that, it won't pop up. Okay, it's just going to be flat on the page. So no matter what you do, some kind of angle. Now, what else is important? Well, this angle on this side needs to be even and the same as this angle on this side. So when I glue down my other sheet, my other side, not other sheet, these two sides need to be equal. So those two angles. Now, if this is a lot different, so if I have one going in this direction, huge difference in the angles, it's not going to work. I'm going to show you how to do that, but I want you to keep that in mind, how important that is, that you have those equal distances when you put this up. First thing I'm going to do is decide where this is going to go on the page. So if I want a pop-up sort of like this, if I glue this down here, it'd be pretty good actually. So I want like a background, sort of like this one here. I'm going to mimic it. Okay. I'm going to put my tabs in the back. Now, it doesn't really matter which direction the tabs go. I could do it like this if I wanted, like this. As long as it's even on each side, it doesn't really matter where the tabs go. First thing I'm going to do, put glue on one tab on one side. So I folded it in half. This is how I want it on here. I'm going to put glue here. When I put this on my paper, this corner right here, needs to fall on the center line. It can't be way out here. It can't be over the center line. It has to be right on the center line. And make sure I have that angle So I'm going to be gluing it down at an angle, maybe like that, like that. So it's at an angle. And that point's going to be on the crease. Okay, so you can see where I've glued that now. Remember, the crease of your paper is going to be on the inside like the crease of the book. If your crease is out here, your pop-up will not open. So we have the crease of the paper, the fold of the book, the crease. Now you can already see how this is going to kind of come together, because when I pull this up like this, it's glued on this one side. I need to glue it in the exact same angle on the other side. Remember how I explained this, that we need the exact same angle, but how am I going to do that? It's kind of like hard. I have to go measure it. How do I figure that out? Well, the truth is, it's actually really easy to do that, because now all I'm going to do is put glue on this other tab and shut it. That will ensure that your angle is exactly the same on both sides. It's going to fall into its natural place that way. Magic. So I'm going to start by putting glue just on the tab, remember, right along this tab on the outside. So glue, tab, then close it, smooth it out. There you go. There's a few different ways that you can cut your paper to make your pop-up look a little different. Here, this one is more of kind of a cute angle. See how what I did here was I cut the paper at an angle, and that's why it looks like that. But you do it almost exactly the same way. You just have to work a little harder to fold it. But I would still glue it down first on one side, then glue the other side and flatten it when I open it up. There's lots of different shapes that you can make with this. What's important to know, though, is that, this is really the backbone of a lot of different types of pop-ups. All right, so here, pop-up that I made, this isn't anything in particular, this is just a bunch of shapes. But what you can see here, we haven't gone over exactly how to make the parallel fold yet, but these two are parallel folds right here. But this backbone, this is the V-fold. This part is a V-fold right here. It's a V-fold that attaches to, you can see how it attaches to those two sides. The V-fold. These two pieces up front are both V-folds, but I cut them much shorter. See how short they are, rather than being V-folds that are the whole back of the page like this one. So V-folds can be any shape, really, you want. Here's another V-fold right here. That V-fold is on this side right here. There's lots of different ways that you can put all these pieces together to make it work. In my next video, we'll go over how to do that parallel fold, because parallel folds are used often for supports, for supporting other objects. And so next time we'll go over, this is a parallel fold, right? And I've got so many examples here. This is two different parallel folds. So I'll show you next time how to make those. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.